We're getting into spring, this nicer weather, but there's also probably some of you out there who haven't been camping because it can be intimidating to get out into the outdoors. Do you have the right gear? Do you know where to go? Do you know what to do when you're out there? Those are certainly some concerns that a lot of people have. And there is a Portland-based startup and app called Fridie Outdoors, which actually addresses some of those things to help educate and make people more comfortable with that. There's a lot to talk about here, and so to do so, we have the founder joining us right now, Lestarya Molloy. And Lestarya, thank you, for joining us. I want to talk about camping and everything associated with that and the app, and you as a founder and small. I mean, there's so many things to cover here. But to start off, I guess, could you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you went through to found this app?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Fridie Outdoors is a camping and outdoor education platform. We really design for folks who are and experienced campers who wanted access to more outdoor skills in the moments they needed it most. So, really, whether you're planning for a trip or out camping and don't have access to information, I'll say for myself, that really the need for Fridie Outdoors started during a camping trip right here in Oregon. And I noticed a family who was out on one of their first camping trips and struggling to build a campfire. And I kind of went over and offered help. And they said, yes, please do. And so we talked about, all right, here's how you build your campfire. Here's how you put it out when you're done. And I'll say it was great to get them started in that moment. But coming from the tech industry, I I knew that there was a way that we could really make outdoor skills accessible in the moments that they needed. And I felt uniquely positioned to do this because I know what it's like to get into camping as an adult. It's not something I did growing up, and there's quite the learning curve. And as you said, it is intimidating. So I really wanted to make sure folks, when they work up that courage to get out there, that they have an amazing time and want to keep doing it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that is something too, in that moment, because what you don't know, right? So you could be up there and like, oh, I have no idea how to do this, or I need to tie a knot, I need to get a tarp up, or whatever it may be. Certainly, there's always something that's going to come up, and that doesn't matter if even experienced campers. I mean, I'm an experienced camper.
Yep.
There's always something I realize. Oops, I didn't know that, so I have to figure it out. So I think that's great. But talking about your side of it as learning to camp as an adult. What do you think are some of the obstacles that people face when they do want to either go camping or maybe that has kept them from camping before?
Yeah. So, I mean, the great news is we know motivation is there to get out camping. Folks really want to have quality time with themselves or friends and family. They want to connect with nature and just enjoy, right?
Right.
But the thing is we've found that there are multiple barriers to getting out there. Lack of experience is one, and some of the top three topics that have really come up for folks is one, getting a good night's sleep. Over 60% of campers actually don't have a good night's sleep when they're out there. And that was regardless of being a new camper or experienced. So, one thing we've done is really give people a foundation to tent setup, but then also really honing in their individual sleep system. And sleep is such I'll just say for myself, I need my sleep and I get my best sleep out there. So our approach is giving people that foundation, but then giving them ways to really tweak for what meets their personal needs when they're out camping. And that way they can wake up refreshed and just feeling energized about the day.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's one. That's one.
yeah.
We've got a few others we could
Oh,
talk about, but
keep on going.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I definitely sleep is an important one. That's for sure. And everybody's got their
Yeah,
own style.
exactly.
Whatever mattress you bring, whatever, yeah, inflatable. It can be a big difference. So you got that. So sleep, and please,
Sleep.
what were the other?
I will say number two is feeling safe. And as a woman of color, and particularly as we design for communities of color who haven't been as represented in outdoor recreation, often I'll find myself as the only out in these spaces, and that's the case for a lot of folks. And so we really give people different strategies for outdoor safety, whether that's safety with wildlife, because these are things that you have to be conscious of. How do you keep your campsite tidy? What do you do if you encounter different wildlife? but then also safety from others who may not have like the best intentions and what can you do, right? And so by giving people that, I like to call it that camping knowledge, that outdoor skills, it helps people feel much more confident to make that leap and go out there and know that they can have a good time. And I'll say in my 15 years of camping, I've really been fortunate to only have positive experiences. That's not the case for everyone, unfortunately. And it's a very real topic that we have to talk about and make sure people are equipped with the skills. But it's safety is definitely one of those top skills to help people with. And then the third one, I'll say, it's kind of a fun topic, and it's camp food. I was actually really surprised when we went and talked to hundreds of folks. People were really curious whether they were new or experienced. They're like, okay, so what are you making when you're out there camping? And how do you cook delicious meals without the convenience of home? So I've had a lot of fun sharing. I'll say one of my favorites is taking a 2 burner camp stove out there. So that way I can have my camp food going, but I can also have coffee going or tea. And I'll make like a coconut curry. And it literally takes 5 ingredients, and you just have one pot on the stove. So the cleanup is easy after. But, those are just three of the top areas that people have expressed interest in. And there's plenty more, quite honestly. But it's really about understanding what the barriers are and then us providing the outdoor skills so that people can have a great time out there.
And giving that knowledge, I mean, all of those that you just mentioned, sleep, certainly, safety outdoors, that is absolutely something. And especially if you haven't been out there before, we mentioned it can be intimidating, and you're out there in the wilderness, there's a lot of sounds, there's a lot of things going on, and to be knowledgeable of the wildlife is really important. And people, though, that really is, I think, absolutely one of the most important things is knowing how to handle that situation, whatever that is that may come up. So, I mean, that's great to be able to have everybody walk through that. As far as the food side, you're the kind of person I would love to go camping with because then, because you make the awesome food. Nobody goes camping with me for food, but that's why I can learn from this app. So again, things for everybody there that we're talking about. So. Something else, and I want to get back to the camping, but just talking about you for the startup of the business side, Portland-based
Yeah.
business and that community. What were some of the things that you went through, creating the business? And I know you've had some pretty great honors as far as some lists that you're on and some different things that the business has been noted for. But can you tell us just a little bit about the Portland-based business community and how you got this business started?
Yes. So prior to starting Fridie Outdoors, I was in the tech industry. And so I've brought to market quite a few innovative technologies, really like first to market type technology that millions of people use all over the world. So I'm bringing my tech experience. But what was really unique about starting a company here in Portland is Oregon is a mecca for the outdoors. There's so many outdoor companies who are based here, and there's also quite the startup community. And so I'm, so grateful. We've had support from REI and Adidas. We've also had support from Built Oregon with Pi, one of their accelerators here. And we've also been selected as one of the 13 companies in Oregon to watch this year. So I'll say all that in combination with some of the pitch competitions we've won, like Pitch Black, West Side Pitch. We've really participated in a few others. There's a vibrant startup scene here. And so I will say there are challenges with starting a business like anything, but we've definitely been making the traction. And so I'm really proud to be starting a company, but also growing a tech and outdoor company right here. So
I mean, that's kind of the best of both worlds right there. And, getting that recognition, one of the top companies to watch here in Oregon. So congratulations on that. I mean, that's a huge step right there and clearly well-deserved. So looking at, going back to the app, and just camping in general, let me ask you this. What do you think is the number one misconception that people have when they go to head out camping?
Oh gosh, that's such a great question. I'd say the one biggest misconception is that camping is dirty or it's uncomfortable, right? And that just comes from a lot of times camping has been shown in this survivalist perspective, like as if camping is about surviving outdoors. And what we have experienced, and what a lot of people who are camping experience, is it can be such an oasis, right? Last summer, I camped up at Timothy Lake, and we had this beautiful lakeside campsite. And so within steps, I could be on the water. Within steps, I could be on the trails. And I'll just say, a few people have definitely commented on my tent. It's not the backpacking tent where it's more confined. I have a 6-person tunnel-shaped camp tent, and it allows me to have more space inside and be able to do simple things like stand up and dance around if I want to, or, change my clothes while standing versus being hunched into a little 2-person backpacking tent. And so, yeah, when that misconception happens, I like to really show the multiple ways that people can get out camping. And that's been a real joy to say, yes, you can go backpacking where you're carrying your gear. I love backpacking, especially what the Wallowas here is epic. But I also love the comforts of pulling up to a campsite here in Oregon and being able to have the convenience of my car right by the tent and have a little bit bigger of a tent so I can have some luxuries, but then also still stay true to that minimalist standpoint where I just have the things I need to really make it a vacation. And the great thing is that vacation only costs 20 something dollars a night to get that type of experience. So it's been great to show the multiple ways that you can camp. There's not just one, and there's really a way for everyone to enjoy camping.
Right. I think that is a really important part. I mean, backpacking is fantastic out there by yourself, but then also when you are packing up and you only have, 20 feet to go to your car, that helps too. That's kind of nice as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about the app. So if somebody wants to get started, and I've got one of the videos here, just kind of an example, I think, from your site. And let's ask this: if somebody wants to get started here for Fridie Outdoors, what's the first thing that they do, and how do they get involved with it?
Yes. So, folks getting into camping or even experienced campers can download the Fridie Outdoors app. It's available on both iOS as well as Google App Stores. And we really do make a lot of the foundational outdoor skills accessible to folks. And then you can subscribe to get offline access so that even when you're out there camping, you still have all the outdoor skills right at your fingertips.
That's great. So again, accessible when you need it. So when you realize you forgot how to do something or you don't know how to do something, you can pull that up. Well, it's really fascinating just how you created this, and that does serve such a need, I think, for so many people here in the Northwest and beyond too, just when you're heading up camping. And I think it's great to get more people outdoors and get over any fear, intimidation, or nervousness they may have, and have something like that to help them experience. I mean, that's part of what the great thing is here in the Northwest, is getting out to our wilderness. I mean, it's incredible. Well, Lestarya, anything else that you want to share with everyone just about your app, or I keep saying app, but about your platform?
No, thanks for having me on. And there's so much beauty here in Oregon, and definitely happy to be getting new campers out, but then also experienced folks are finding some outdoor skills helpful. So yeah, and I will definitely be sure to send you some of my favorite camp food recipes, since you said the cooking is the area you're interested in.
Please, yeah. Otherwise, it's just hot dogs every time. So yeah, that would be good. I would like to expand my horizons a little bit. Well, Lestarya, thank you very much for joining us here today. I really appreciate you being here on Fox 12 Now.
Absolutely.
And for everybody watching, again, if this is your first time, thanks for joining us. We cover a wide range of topics on this show. It could be politics. We could do deeper dives with some of our reporters. We could talk about Fridie Outdoors, all kinds of things. Coming up at 1:30 p.m., we're talking about a new radio station here in Portland that has started up, and their aimed goal, according to them, is for day laborers, content by and for day laborers here in the Northwest. So we're going to discuss what that means, what kind of content they're going to be putting out, and how that all works. That's coming up at 1:30 p.m., so you can join us right back wherever you're watching for that conversation that we're going to be having. So whether that's YouTube, Facebook, our website, or the apps, I do recommend downloading the Fox 12 Oregon app. It's one of the easiest ways to watch what we have going on. You can click on the Fox 12 Now tab. But no matter what, thanks for joining us. And we'll be back here if you're watching live in about 10 minutes or so. So I'll talk to you then. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.
First,